everybody, welcome to my video today, you guys. I'm going to show you 3 different cards with this stamp set right here. This is pretty cute. This is Happy Tails, and you can get this in a bundle so you can get the punch that goes with the set. And I always get the punch if there's a punch that coordinates. And the great thing about this set is you can use the punch on its own without the stamp, or the stamp on its own without the punch. And I'm going to show you how I did that on a couple cards. But they also go really well together. So I'm not a huge animal person. We don't have animals here at our house. You know, I have 3 kids and that's enough work for me. Like, I don't need to have to deal with an animal. We have an outside cat that we got for Violet to help with her autism, and the cat just didn't really work out. It wasn't really a friendly cat, so we have the cat and it wanders around and everything. But in general, you guys, I'm not a big animal lover, but I did think that this was cute, and I thought, well, it'd be fun to make some cards with. So the thing that I paired with this that made it really easy to use was this paper right here. This is the butterfly, botanical butterfly designer paper, and you can see on one side there's this really bright, fun designs, and they have butterflies on them, and then on the opposite side of the very colorful side is these black and white pieces. And I took a piece of this black and white sheet here and I did 3 cards with it. So let's get started. I'm going to show you one of the cards we're going to put together, and then I'm going to show you the other 2 cards that I made. So my color scheme for these cards happened to be red and black, and I did something fun. I challenged myself to make cards that went in the opposite direction that I usually like. So usually what I do is I take a piece of Whisper White cardstock to start my card base, and I'll cut it at 4 1/4. That gives you a card that opens like this, and that is actually my favorite way to make a card. But what I decided to do was challenge myself to make a card, to make all of these cards that opened in the opposite direction. So I'm cutting at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold that, and it's going to give me a card base that looks like this and opens like this. So I just want to take a nail file, and I'm going to clean up the edges of this cardstock where I cut it. And then I have a bone folder, and I'm just going to crease that. So now I have my card base. So what I've done for this card, I've done some of the steps just so that it'll go a little bit faster and I can show you more cards. On this, I don't know if you can quite see it, if the camera's going to pick it up, but this is some texture on this cardstock. And I used my very favorite embossing folder. This is the Settles embossing folder. And the catalog doesn't do it justice. When you look at this in the catalog, you don't think it's anything. But when you see it in person, you see it gives your cardstock this amazing texture. And I love it. It's just a little tiny way to step up your card and give it some interest. So I'm definitely cleaning up the edges of this. And this is just going to go on the front like that when we're done. So we're going to work on this piece. And what I've done here is I have some basic black, and then I have that designer paper. Now these basic black pieces are cut at 1 3/4 by 4. And what I wanted to do is just be able to lay these across my card, just like that, and have a little bit of a border, okay? But I want to attach my designer paper, which then has a 1/4 inch off. So it's 1 1/2 by 3 3/4. It's a little bit hard to see on my mat since my mat is black, but this is just going to create a little bit of a border, and I'll zoom in and show you guys how that looks when we start putting the card together. And we're going to pop each of these pieces up. So there's a little bit of work here involved in the first part of making this card. And you could do this with any stamps that you had. It's a great card design. So let's put those there. And then on the back of these, I want to be able to pop them up. So we'll turn that over. And then I'm just going to take some of this fun foam that I have that I created by just purchasing fun foam and then putting double-sided adhesive on one side. And I have this great foam now. So now that I have my fun foam on here, I'm just going to take my snail adhesive and put that on the back of the fun foam, and then we can pop each of these pieces up. So we'll bring our red cardstock back over. I'm going to use my grid mat just so that I can get things lined up a little bit better. And the key is to not press anything down until you have all of your pieces right where you want them. Once you have your pieces right where you want them, you can press that down, and then you can see we have our card here. So the next thing I've done is I've just done some stamping. So you can see I've taken the stamp, I stamped this image in red, and then I stamped black over it for the doghouse. And then I added the sentiment that I wanted right there. And we're just going to put some adhesive right here on the back of this. And this is going to go over our two panels. So this is a really fun card design. And again, you can do it with any stamp set you have. I used my stitched dies there. Then what I've done is I've stamped the dog here in black. Then I've stamped his spots. And this is a photopolymer stamp set. And so lining your stamps up to do that stamping is going to be super simple. Then I stuck that piece of paper after I stamped him into the punch, and we punched him out. And you can see he's got his cute little spots. And then right on his neck, I tied some red twine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this piece up, but I'm going to use dimensionals, and they fit really perfect right on here. He's the perfect size. So I love stamps that aren't too small but aren't too big. So even though I love all of the Lawn Fawn stamps, if you're a Lawn Fawn fan, you know, their stamps are so tiny, and so coloring them and working with them can be difficult because they're so tiny. But then you have other stamps that are really large, and so I feel like there's that happy medium where they're not too big and they're not too small. So we'll just add this right to our card front. And I feel like this got a little bit off. Made right. It's not Hallmark, but there's this card right here. So let me show you two other cards that I did with this guy. I did this one right here. Now this one, this is what I was saying. You can use the punch without the stamp. Like, you don't have to stamp the dog and do all of that in order to use the punch. You can just use the punch by punching out the designer paper. And the other thing that I think is great about this set is there's not a lot of coloring if you don't want there to be. So even though I like coloring, I don't always like to do it. And so to be able to pull together a quick card and not have to color a lot is really amazing. Okay, so then the next one I have is this one right here, and you can see that I still used that designer paper. I just added another design there, and then I did this in circles, and I punched him out. Even though he looks pretty flat on there, I probably should have popped him up, but I popped up the circle, and I don't know, I was just thinking that maybe I was getting too much dimension. So the other thing that I like to do is this punch has the dog and then it has the heart. So I punched out some real red, the heart from Real Red, and then I just like adding a little bit of Wink of Stella to that heart, and you can see that I did that here as well. So I hope you enjoyed seeing these cards that I did with this stamp set. I really love the red and the black. It makes it really pop, and then I like that this was a simple stamp set to use, and I managed to make all of my cards in that direction that I usually don't make them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you head over to my Facebook page because I am live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. this month, just sharing with you guys. It's the very end of celebration, so you want to make sure you get in those orders so that you can get your free product. You can get your free designer paper when you place a $50 order. And remember that anybody who places a $50 order this month will get a PDF and exclusive videos putting together these cards. I share with you how I made these. I have a beautiful PDF and then exclusive video for you when you place a $50 order with me, and you get the card kit. So you get all of the pieces to make these cards, and it's a lot of fun creating these. So I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday, and I'll be back on Friday with a memory keeping Friday video for you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching my videos. Here are 2 other of my most recent videos. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you in my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.